I'm Dr. Emma Thirkell and I'm an Assistant Professor in Human Resource Management at Newcastle Business School in Northumbria University. There's lots of benefits of hybrid working, but there are still lots of challenges for many businesses and sectors currently. We've had lots of really good things that came out of the COVID pandemic, and lots of those things can be carried forward. But still, there's issues to do with, for example, health and well-being of workers. We hear this term digital exhaustion. So while a lot of people want to work from home and want to work remotely and in a hybrid form, it's still quite difficult. For example, recently Elon Musk said that everybody in Twitter and Tesla had to go back to the office. And actually Apple and PricewaterhouseCoopers have done some of the same things. But a lot of people are still struggling with this. There's lots of individuals who like that social interaction at work. And in fact, the younger generation, if we're looking at millennials and Generation Z, they really value that social interaction. So trying to get that balance between allowing flexible forms of work and allowing the health and well-being of individuals, both in terms of digital exhaustion and the social interaction, is really quite a challenge for businesses. We've also got infrastructure issues. Now, during COVID, lots of great things happened. So for example, we all got access to laptops, but there's still not quite the digital infrastructure which really supports all businesses using hybrid. There's also challenges in that some roles and some activities are just not right for working in a hybrid way. So what businesses really need to do is have a think about which activities and which roles would fit this model. And it may mean in your sector, it doesn't fit quite so well. There's a number of key barriers that businesses and sectors have to overcome to ensure that hybrid working works for them. The first thing is having that culture in place. So having an open and transparent culture, which really gives employees the opportunity and they're valued in terms of where they work and how they work. So they add value based on their knowledge and their skills and not necessarily the presenteeism. Unfortunately, in lots of organisations still currently, presenteeism is a barrier. Lots of management styles require and really want individuals in an office. Now, we've seen that that's not necessarily the most productive way. So styles of leadership like micromanagement, they don't really work very well with things like hybrid working. So having a look at the culture of the organisation is really important because that could aid or really put a stop to hybrid working. Secondly is communication. It's a barrier if it's not there and it's not done well. So if there aren't clear expectations set up of individuals and it's not clearly communicated what's required when we're working from home or away from the office, then that can then cause stress and anxiety and can result in being a barrier. Also, it's really great to allow different individuals to work in a hybrid manner. However, we have to be careful not to create a two-tier system. Those are people who work from home and those that can't work from home. So balancing that is really important and really quite difficult to do because those that don't work from home often get a little bit resentful. Sometimes they're demotivated as a result. Well, why are my colleagues allowed to work from home but I'm not? So balancing that is really important. We also have the infrastructure barrier. So ensuring not just that there are the laptops available to be able to do that, but that the business systems are in place to allow individuals to work anytime and anywhere. We also have to be mindful of stress and burnout. So hybrid working aims to create a more balanced work and life, but it can also act as a barrier to some individuals. So managing that, having conversations with individual staff to see what works for them is really important. If you don't get the buy-in from staff, and they're not engaged and motivated by the idea of hybrid working, then they're not going to be the most productive. Undoubtedly, in order to attract, recruit and retain the most talented workers, we have to really be offering flexible working and hybrid working arrangements these days. And one of the reasons for that is that there are a number of shortages in the labour market. Some skills are really, really rare. So allowing individuals to work flexibly and offering them a hybrid option allows us to tap into a much wider labour pool and labour market. Thanks to COVID altering the way that we work and offering new opportunities to work in a hybrid way, those who are applying to jobs now almost expect a level of hybrid and flexible working. When we're looking at people who are applying to jobs, lots of research is suggesting to us that actually it's one of the first things that they're asking. And when I talk to recruiting managers and HR managers, they're being contacted well before individuals actually apply for the role, asking that very question: is it hybrid? Is it flexible? And they're actively turning down the opportunity to apply when organisations are not. So it's really going to help you attract and retain those workers if you're in building a level of hybrid and flexible working into job roles and advertising it as well. When we're looking at different generations in the workplace, it's fair to say that all of them now are looking at jobs and roles that will allow a level of flexible working. However, we've got to be mindful that actually millennials and Gen Zs also really appreciate that social interaction. The caveat being, the social interaction must add value to them. So they must see the reason why they're face-to-face, why they're in the office. And what they want is that opportunity to choose, that choice. There's lots of reasons why businesses should operate in a hybrid way. One of the ones is to be able to recruit and attract the best workers. Because applicants are seeking a level of hybrid and flexible working, it really is a make or break deal as to whether they want to come to your organisation. There's a health and well-being perspective as to why organisations should offer a form of hybrid and flexible working. Evidence suggests that those who work from home can get better results out of it. And this is part of the work-life balance argument. So we have to make sure that we sit down and we talk with individuals to see what they really want out of their job. Because ultimately, if we have happy employees, they're more motivated and they're going to produce much better results for us. We also have a sustainability perspective. Lots of organisations now are focusing on things like responsible business. PricewaterhouseCoopers, for an example, are using flexible working and hybrid working to contribute towards their net zero target. So when we're thinking about sustainable business models and when we're looking at things like commuting, offering hybrid working really offers an alternative to organisations to reduce their carbon footprint and therefore be a little bit more sustainable. And of course, with the cost of living crisis at the moment, lots of problems with, for example, getting trains to work, then this might work really well for individuals.